in front of a live digital audience. The Lunch Break is a bi-weekly bento box of Black empowerment.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Lunch Break. I am your server, Jay. Always seasoned, never salty. I'm joined by who?
Black Ice.
And the Keys.
Black Narrative.
Nice. We got a fun, action-packed show for you today. And let's get it on the road right now. Let me dig in my lunch bell. I'm gonna have a brown paper bag for y'all next time.
Really? What happened to the lunchbox?
It's in there. It's just he's taking a break. He was a little upset about that first episode.
Wow, because he muted his mic the first episode.
You know he needed a vacation.
The first topic out of my lunch pail is Pink Tutu Man.
Oh my gosh. Who's gonna start that one off?
I'll be more than happy to start it. And
What bothers me the most about Pink Tutu Man is the fact that it's a perversion of masculinity, or not necessarily a perversion of it, but it's a misrepresentation of it. Because when your daughter looks to you, she looks to you to see the definitive version of masculinity. She doesn't look at you to see a reflection of herself. So it's like this guy has the game twisted, and I feel like there's probably some emotional issues going on. He probably felt like he was toxic masculine,
Right.
and then so he's overcompensating for inadequacies he feels.
Do you think it was his idea?
That is a good point.
Oh,
I mean, he had to agree to it, but I'm just curious to know whose idea was it.
I think it could be his. I don't know where y'all grew up, but I grew up in rough parts, and some of them dudes, they be the hardest dudes on the outside, but on the inside they be softer than Charmin, bro. They be dressing up in pink tutus.
Well, one thing I kind of want to bring up when it comes to that is it really kind of shows how much this goddess worship has been such a big thing in our culture, to the point where now the feminine is seen as the only important gender expression within our community. And so now you have these men dressing up in tutus because they believe being masculine is somehow a toxic thing, a bad thing. And you're just going to have a unbalanced, mind when it comes to children that don't have that balance between masculine and feminine.
I agree. That's a great point. Black Ice, how were things 50 years ago? How was masculine?
If you can recall for us.
But man, it's funny. I got through talking to my dad the other night, and my dad he's a man's man. I mean, he's a straight up cowboy. Seriously, to this day. Grew up in the country, stayed in the country, and I know he would never do no mess like this. Normal grandfathers, they weren't raised that way. But my problem what bothered me the most when I saw this is how many of our black women was okay with this.
Right.
That was scary to me. Like, reading through the comments, I mean, of course, it's some that they wasn't with it at all, but it was way too many that was with it, and that's scary to me.
Yeah. Well,
I think what we got to remember is how, and we're going to talk about this later. We got to remember how tight mainstream media has, how tight of a hold it has on our people.
Yeah.
Like, we all get caught up in the B1 mind state, and these algorithms surround us with B1 all the time. So we think it's the mind state is more pervasive than it actually is. Like, we are really a small minority. Everybody else is riding that mainstream media train. Hey, Keith, you want the last thought?
Yeah. To the point that Black Ice brought up, as far as the whole thing with a lot of women co-signing onto it, especially black women. Well, you got to think about how many of them have such a negative relationship with masculinity and with black men overall. And it's just another kind of symptom of how messed up our community is. But instead of having that conversation, having that talk, it manifested its way in things like this, with a grown man in a tutu and them applauding it.
See, but I think part of that is us. We as men, we have to step into our rightful position.
Most definitely.
If we don't step into our rightful position, then we can't write it. What you're
Even
seeing
if it
is
means
still
pissing
being
them
influenced by femininity.
masculine men like Black Ice's 200-year-old grandpa, they not going for that, man.
Most definitely.
Yeah, but you make a great point. We can't be scared to piss them off. I mean, we walk with eggshells around them, and they can't be the case. We have to hold them accountable.
They don't want to be pissed off.
Huh?
They'll look at you like when you make a leadership decision, they might look at you some type of way, but they'll respect you. You know what I'm saying? That's where Sips and them get it wrong. They be afraid to be polarized.
Yeah, that's most definitely, because who wants to be led by a doormat?
Yeah, exactly. All right. Oh, y'all hear that horn? Did y'all hear that horn?
Oh snap! Oh, we getting fancy in here.
Right.
Somebody done got the straight laughs, boy.
I thought you were gonna drop some Jamaican beats in a minute.
Rastaman ting.
That's funny. All right. Okay, I don't even know how to pronounce this. I feel like a white dude when he's saying like an Asian person name. R2CC.
Man, I think it's pronounced Arista. You know what? Let me not pretend. Let me not pretend. I'm right there with you, Jay.
Yeah, so for those that you don't know, it's Aruti Susi. Is a holiday that celebrates foundational Black American culture of freedom, fighting, and resistance. Aruti Susi means arise in the traditional foundational Black American Tut language. Okay, so it's going to be celebrated every December 24th. New holiday. My 2 cents on it, it doesn't hurt anybody. If people want to practice it, that's fine. I don't feel like it's any different than Kwanzaa or any other holiday. You know, it's just, if this is a tradition that certain people want to start, then by all means, go ahead.
I disagree.
Yeah, me as well. I
think this is very harmful to our community, because you can't keep changing the narrative. Like, we know Christianity goes back to slavery, right? But now you're acting like the slaves didn't celebrate that and they celebrated this instead. No, they celebrated Christmas.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm tired of trying to replace stuff to justify our actions, because like, you can't try to stand apart from white supremacy, but you still try to do everything that they do. Why you have to have a holiday during that time period? Because let's be honest, on those plantations, they had a Christian church on their plantation. They had a Christmas tree on their plantation. They changed the gifts on their plantation. They wouldn't do anything different. So, you know, to me, you just trying to justify people feel as bad as doing it. And, you know, I know a lot of people not going to like it, man, but I want to be straight up with you. So, Tariq makes a good point. Sometimes Tariq makes some bad points. And I remember last year around Christmas time, you know, he was pushing his book into a couple of the products. And I think somebody was trying to get on him by having I think his wife posted a Christmas photo with a huge Christmas tree and everything with the whole family. And so they was like, hey, brother, you know, if we put me all, you know, FBA, this and that, why you taking that white man's tree in the back? And they had a good point, you know what I'm saying? And so like now, to me, it's kind of like trying to find a way to justify it or find another reason to celebrate around that time period. But the whole thing is pagan in itself. We had to get away from that. And I feel like this is a problem, because you keep trying to like change the narrative. Hell, we saw that with Juneteenth. You mad white people do it to us? What do you think we're doing with this?
Well,
Keith, your thoughts?
I do want to kind of add to that as well, because looking at the roots of this holiday, it comes from the whole notion that this was around the time when slaves would be planning revolts and all these different things. But it kind of comes back to the whole B1 mindset. You got to understand that when we left the plantations, a lot of these negative mindsets came along with us. And so back in those days, it wasn't like whole plantations of people were planning revolts. It was very much so one of those things where you had maybe like those few that were planning to leave, or you know, that had the gall to burn down the house. But often a lot of them were complacent. And another thing too is a lot of them, you know, it's just a similar thing to today. So I'm not sure how common that truly would have been. And it's kind of comparable to the Maroons. You know, you really didn't have that many Maroons around. They were kind of a phenomenon in a way.
Well, I don't think it's
necessarily fair to say that it's rewriting the narrative. There's not enough information out about it right now. What's wrong with creating new traditions? You know, like saying, okay, yesterday was Christmas, we're going to start a new tradition. Like, how is starting new traditions necessarily hurtful? You might not like how it splinters things, but I don't see it as hurtful. Like, was Kwanzaa hurtful?
Yeah, it is. I see it as, what's the word I'm looking for? Man, I just lost my word I was looking for. Well, but even with Kwanzaa, we did a broadcast about the history of Kwanzaa. Yeah. And you look at the person who came up with Kwanzaa, you wouldn't be celebrating. Oh, the problem with new tradition is the intent. That's what I meant to say. Yeah. What's the intent behind the new holiday? Right. Is it for monetary purposes? Is it an opportunity to sell merchandise? Or just another way to justify, blending with white people during that holiday spirit? What's the intent?
Yeah, I understand.
The new tradition makes different now. The new tradition makes sense. So yeah, by all means. But what's your intent behind it?
But your point of the creator of Kwanzaa, well heard, sir.
Yeah.
All right, time to dig into the lunchbox.
Oh, let's see what the next course is.
The next collard greens on my screen. I don't see no
is Marcel Dixon.
Well, I was waiting for my apple pie.
I was waiting on the mac and cheese. I don't see nothing, bro.
Man, I've been slipping, man. So everybody, I apologize. I just got this.
That dude got one job to bring the damn food to the picnic.
I got the Streamlabs and I'm too good for the pie.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta hit y'all with a transition real quick.
There we go.
All right, now we're back in the game. So the next topic is the aftermath of Marcel Dixon's campaign, and I personally felt like a lot of the energy, a lot of people felt dejected, a lot of people felt hurt and lost because once again being in those echo chambers of social media, you kind of feel like your position may sometimes be a little bit stronger, and then to see the big three champion Marcel was also something new that a lot of people they never seen that. You've never seen Jason Black put somebody on his show and vouch for him. You've never seen that. So it got a lot of people energized, but I think the takeaway here needs to be that once again the mainstream media has a hold on our people's minds. They broadcast everywhere, and so we got to understand that we got to just keep pushing harder to push the B1 mind state, to push a mind state of self-sufficiency, and then understand just what we're going against. It's not the end, it's just the beginning of the beginning, and we got to keep pushing on. But I love what brother Marcel did. I also love his hats, but I love what that brother did, and I love how he was uncompromising.
You know what? It's a lot of layers to peel on this topic, and and after the election has so many questions. Like I was wondering, was he spending too much time promoting to the B1 platforms and not within his own district? Because when I saw, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really expect him to win, but I did expect the race to be a lot closer than what it was. I was really disappointed with the numbers. So I was wondering, is it like a promotion in his district, or was he doing enough stuff in his area that can vote for him? Then, but I thought about it, because people who didn't vote for him went on and voted for Cloudburn anyway. So to me, I realized it's not the marketing with Marcel. It's his district. And the district still proves that, we still zombies.
Most definitely.
Because I would like to hear the people who voted for Cloudburn to tell us what made you choose Cloudburn over Marcel. Now, and this comes from a person who even believe in the voting system. I just feel like to get the representation we need, we had to get it outside the system. That's my personal opinion. But for those who do believe in the system, because he didn't even get 3,000 votes, and I thought that was extremely low. So you got a mindset there in his district.
But you got to remember, the people that in his district don't listen to Jason Black.
That's what I'm saying. So so you think it's a marketing thing that why his number's so low? But from my understanding, he was making phone calls and around the neighborhood. I don't know how tough he was in his own neighborhood, but my thing is, if you're trying to win an office, you should be catering to people in your district who can vote for you. Well, it's good to see you on the Black Authority, but Hell, I can't vote for you. I'm in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
not to say it wasn't necessary because another question gonna boil down for Marcel: do you want the office or do you want or do you want the message? Now you're just trying to spread the message, then yeah, okay, you're doing your thing, but you want the office. Maybe that was a bad tactics you use, a bad strategy.
Real quick, Erica has she said, do you think he marketed to the nation instead of his own city and state? I'm in Florida and I'm rooting for him, but he didn't help. But that's exactly the point. It's like he went on national media platforms that were niche. So not only was it national, but it was very niche. So it was like, we don't even know the full demographics of everybody he was reaching out to. It could have been like 2% of people in his district watch all the B1 programming. So that could have been one of the things.
Well, I mean, maybe he was trying to lay a groundwork for future endeavors, but I mean, I would hope that he would go hard in the paint around his district as well, because he did do fantastic when it came to coming into the B1 spaces and showing his chops in that arena. But there might have been issues when it did come to the marketing and everything like that. But my thing with the whole, with Marcel Dixon losing the way he did was just how, Clyburn and all those that supported him kind of just threw salt in the wound. And it really did just kind of show that not only are we zombified, but it also showed just how whenever we have that kind of loss, or you have somebody that's really championing for us, how we'll just attack each other,
I admit I didn't really like that part. I didn't like the part where Marcel was debating with them. People are already taking up for you. You don't need to say anything.
Yeah, real quick, we're at time, but Shamar Moore said he said the phone call thing wasn't really a good idea. And then,
yeah, I wonder how much like door to door, or did he hit the churches in the neighborhood, like the type of work he did on the ground floor? Because I don't know.
And then Jackie Caesar had a good point. She said he confused people with his name, and when we interviewed him, it was the same thing because he said Greg Marcel Dixon.
Oh no!
And so the people were seeing Greg Dixon on the ballot, and they didn't know who that was. So next go around, he needs to make sure if he's Marcel, don't put Greg nowhere near that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Exactly.
The bad UX. Yeah. Because on the ballot, he did say his full name was on there. All three names. It was Greg Marcel Dixon on the ballot, but you didn't market yourself that anywhere else. Right. I didn't know Greg till election day.
Yeah, half these people is they're 70 to dead demographic, so you gotta be
70 to dead.
Yeah, most definitely.
All right, I'm a sweet potato pie y'all right now. I only got one more food item in my lunch pail, and that is anti-black racism. Anti-black racism. A tried and true tradition in the United States of America, but it's growing, okay? The buffer classes are starting to double down on hold on real quick. Erica said Akisa the sauna.
I gotta clear my pores somehow.
I was like, why you hiding in the bathroom? We could have postponed the broadcast a little bit. You had to get it out of here.
Can I get another log on that on the steamer?
All right, so this there is this Twitter page called Asian Crime Report, and at face value you might say, okay, this is something that you might say it has merit, but when you look at all the content, it's a black person did this, a black person did that. When are we gonna punish black people? Over and over again, it's them attacking black people. And there's one post to me that was very that stood out, and this is the one. It says, the Vietnamese community is terrorized in Oakland daily by young black men. Is this domestic terrorism or what?
What?
In America, they don't deserve to get attacked nor live in fear. And my thing about it is that the United States dropped more bombs on your country than they did all of World War II. How are you afraid of us
who also been bombed by that same group.
Right.
That says a lot about you.
And not only that, you think about Agent Orange. It was experimented on by black folk before they used it in Vietnam.
Yeah.
So, Black Ice, did you fall asleep?
No.
I thought
can I start this one off? Well,
go ahead.
With the whole thing with the Asian hate, it really is just a package for them to attack black folk. That's really what Asian hate boils down to, because they never hone in on the Asian hate that went on throughout the history of the West and America and whites overall. They want to use it in order to form a hammer against black folk. And I believe it's completely fabricated. You know,
it's a white person hiding behind an Asian person and throwing the rock in the Asian
exactly.
Person. Just
right.
Like, well, he gonna hook me up with some opportunities. So
right. And the thing is, we got to follow these things to the logical conclusion. If Asian hate is based on black folk constantly attacking Asians, then what's the logical conclusion? They want to do something about the black folk. So a narrative like this, that's why when I see black folk running around, Asian hate, we got to be better to the Asians. I was just told you go a couple weeks ago. I just wanted some egg rolls.
And then the thing is when you look at the statistics, white people attack Asian people more than black people. So it's like it's crimes by proximity. Like if all your stores are in the hood and everybody's broken, desperate in the hood, then you're gonna experience crime. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But we have a video to show the audience. This is a little history lesson about Vietnam. Let me cue it up real quick. And I've oppressed them Negroes. I'm the head to Asia. Woo! Hold on, I've stolen everything I could steal here, and I've oppressed them Negroes. I'm the head to Asia. Woo! Kill them all of them. Help me! We should take some of these peasants and use them as a buffer class against those pesky Negroes. What do you say? Johnson, you're a genius. Let's load the women and the children. Whee! Now read the script, you filthy hole, before I send you back to your country. So evil and scary, I'm so scared. Did I say that right, White Daddy? You done did. Now here's some refugee assistance.
Perfect. Beautifully done.
That's hilarious.
And it's funny because most of these cases are happening in the Bay. Why is it?
It's poverty. Like if you black in the Bay, you gonna get hemmed up. Like
right.
I watch where I walk in the Bay. So you know, it's just all it is it's anti-black racism and the establishment is using these people to attack us, which they always deal with the minority myth thing, the model minority myth. That was the establishment using this same group to attack us. So they're just all they're doing is going along with the get along, or they're going along to get along, and they don't care if it impacts us. And that's why black people that talk about these minority coalitions are so horrible, because you are trying to unite with people that are all about self.
Exactly. Right.
And you're always gonna lose when people are about themselves. What's up, Black Ice? You got something to say?
Yeah, I was just thinking about, because I mean we did a broadcast about this, and it's such a long history. I don't know where to begin, because like even so many atrocities against Asian people by white people. I don't know why, like looking at us, like we had, like you said, we had nothing to do with it. But every time they do a crime against us, they get off with a slap on the wrist. And like to Erica's point, I remember the incident about the orange juice thing. That was before the AJ thing went down.
I believe that was around Watts.
Yeah, before, well, not the AJ, before the OJ thing went down. And yeah, man, we saw the video. Like the girl was unarmed. Like you shot that girl and dead, and you didn't go to jail at all. So it just amazes me. I mean, how to spin this narrative, and then even more amazing how some black people buy into it.
Right, man. They said the whole thing is just crazy.
Yeah, so a lot of it is just pure on self-hate, man. We got it, and all these people, all these black people in our community that are on this kumbaya nonsense, we just got to start pushing them out. This nonsense got to stop, because everybody is forming like Voltron against us in this country, and we still have a lot of strength right now. So we need to leverage the strength that we do have.
You know, I was just thinking about it too. Remember the old cartoons and movies, and they were so racist against Asians.
Oh yeah,
like, you wasn't producing those films or cartoons. White people
were. They would have buck teeth, squinting eyes, and a straw hat.
Yeah.
And we didn't lock them in concentration camps either. But here's the thing: we see this with every immigrant group that comes into this country. They start getting abused, and then the power structure is smart. So the power structure, like, we'll give them a little bit of something to lose, and when they have a little something to lose, that's when they're not going to cooperate with anybody. Whoever's giving them the something to lose, they're going to ride with them. Oh, we're going to give you houses, we're going to give you businesses,
right?
Inventory for your businesses. Now they have their undying allegiance. And the thing is, a lot of these people were saved from their country that was tattered and torn, but it was tattered and torn by the power structure that saved them and brought them here.
Ain't that irony?
That power structure against us, to me, that is the purest form of cowardice. And any black person that says they want to unite with someone like that, you could lick my whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to unite with someone that will run from their country and run into their oppressor's arm. It's like Darth Vader came and attacked the rebel forces, and Luke Skywalker sitting there like, man, I want to rock with Darth Vader. He get an X-Wing and go drive to the Death Star and go try to hang out with Vader. I ain't trying to chill.
You know, and people tend to forget that these people came over here because they were traitors to their own country.
That's it. They were coons. Right.
So you can't be surprised if they act like that towards us. You know, it wasn't safe for them. I saw a whole documentary of these families here now from Vietnam because the natives wanted to kill them because they knew they were helping the Americans.
Exactly. Right.
It's like the Afghanis that got bailed out when the Taliban started going door to door.
They were running after that plane.
Man, they were hopping on that plane.
Yeah.
You gotta save me. They about to chop my head off, man. I see them down the block, man. Get the blazer,
man. I'm talking about getting ran over. They knew that was better than what the Taliban was going to do to them, their coon selves.
The Taliban was about to clear race. If you didn't get the white daddy stimulus packet, you got your head chopped off.
Exactly, man, and that's why they were trying to get dropped off in our areas by white daddy.
Well, now it's time for the main course. Let's go. Now I know you are watching and you're like, hold on, that meat wasn't cooked.
I was just thinking.
I was looking at that bloody steak.
That raw ass meat.
I was like, that y'all move.
That's tender. You guys be going to nice steakhouses ordering well done, and they go out and they get the dog meat in the back for you. You know what I'm saying? All right, so today's main course is all about Twitter Spaces, okay? The Kingdom of Babylon.
That's hilarious. And
what this is about is basically what we've been seeing is with the advent of Twitter Spaces, we've seen this like single-handedly change a lot of communication within the community, and it's enabled a lot of people that can't even string a sentence together. It enabled them to communicate because they don't even have to type no more. They just click a couple buttons, they on there, and they got 12 other people, and they all talking circular arguments and dumb shit. And so we want to talk about that. And we have 6 reasons why Twitter Spaces is the village idiot's dream come true. Okay?
Let's run it.
6 zeros. All right, so we're gonna go off. I'm gonna give y'all some time. I'm not gonna hog up all the time, fellas. So for one, a user could set up a space in a couple of taps. Okay.
Really?
If you wanted to communicate to a whole cauldron of people, you have to set up an account on a website. Then you have to put a title and a description and a
thumbnail and all that. And before that, you had to create all the infrastructure yourself. Now, in a couple taps, they can invite up to 100,000 people in real time, or have 100,000 people listen to them, have 12 other people all speaking simultaneously with zero production value required, and then they have 396 million Twitters followers, a captive audience. So that algorithm could push their Twitter space to all 396 people, and then you have 13 people all in one Twitter space babbling their ass off to 2,000 people, and nothing gets done. So I feel like the idiots are really utilizing this to push their agenda. And here's just real quick before I pass it on. Here's just some Twitter spaces we have. Should Black American get aid from Russia fight Nazis? What?
Man, what kind of foreign? What the heck?
Does the Jewish Israeli state owe Black American reparations? Okay, that's not that egregious, but it's like we haven't even got it from the United States. Let's take a step back. There's no such thing as the black race. Okay, this is silly. FBA who voted for Biden shouldn't get reparations. Okay, can we just get reparations people first, guys? Twitter space is absolute nonsense. What say you guys?
But you got to start this off.
Yeah. It just to me it's a reminder that we still have a long way to go as a people. It is every time you think, oh yeah, we see these B1 platforms, we see more people growing, you think, okay, maybe these are changing, but then you look at Twitter space like, nah, I ain't changing that much. Like, right, a lot of low vibrational people still there. You know what I mean? And it's amazing that people who want to talk the most know the least.
Man, you know ain't that always how it is?
Like, I know some stuff, but I usually shut the F up. You know what I'm saying? I'm too busy listening. I'm taking things in. I'm still learning and growing. Right. Why do you need to talk so damn much? Why you got to talk all the damn time? And then if you don't need spaces for 6, 7, 8 hours, how the hell you being productive in life?
Come on, man. Come on, preach.
I can't keep up with that.
Man, the thing with all these Twitter spaces is you have all these topics that are put on the table, and these niggas ain't leave their 9 to 5. They still working at Jack in the Box. You know, if even that, if they not just bumming or mooching off somebody. And so you have us putting the cart before the horse. We're counting our eggs before they hatch. And it's just insane, the range of topics, and it's becoming more and more divisive. It's becoming more and more foolish, and it's just crazy how you allow 12 people to get in a room, and just babble, and it really goes to show that not everybody should open their mouth. And oftentimes the people that are most eager to open their mouths and most eager to tell you something are the ones that you shouldn't listen to.
And Erica, like you say, let the messy people vent, but there's a problem with that. There's a problem
because people are giving them merit.
The messy people are not relegated to their block. Usually, the messy, stupid people. If you remember, A Living Color, Bonita Petrel. No one knew who Bonita Petrel was at the other side of the city.
He called me old. God damn, bro. Living Color. I don't know even talking yet when the show was out.
You bought Cab Calloway's first album.
Look, Jay, like back in high school when I watched In Living Color.
You're like, wait, what?
Yeah, but Erica, before this old dude disturbed me, so they're able to, like, one of the top Twitter spaces had 140,000 listeners. Now the average, like I would say B1 sphere or centric space typically has 2,000-3,000, sometimes 8,000 followers. So think about it, you have 8,000 people listening to you talk about should Black Americans get aid from Russia,
right?
Fight Nazis.
Yeah.
No, you don't even need to be talking. First off, you can't spell. That is the most deranged sentence I've seen in a long time.
What's hashtag Rus and hashtag Knots?
Hey, that's a public education. Okay.
Right.
It may be some crack in the room, but anyways, they're talking about that. So we have to. This is why critical thinking is important, because you read these titles and you won't even go in the room. I look at this title. Should Black Americans get aid from Russia to fight Nazis? I'm like, y'all idiots. I'm not even gonna waste my time. But if you're not a critical thinker, you're gonna go in there and you're gonna listen and you're gonna be going down these rabbit holes, and then you're gonna start arguing about, should the Jewish give us reparations? Who's black and who's not black? Oh, let's make sure that the Biden voters don't get reparations. You end up fighting over all these stupid things, and you never get reparations because you don't focus on the dang state, local, and federal governments who really do owe you right now. They owe you right now, and you over talking about who shouldn't get it.
Right.
You talk about eligibility more than working on getting the dang thing.
Exactly.
I think you should bring it a little bit closer to home, man. Because like even in our own communities here, like even the BM1 space and the FBA space and security trial spaces, there's a lot of ignorant spaces in those spaces too. You know what I mean? It's, and like everybody within those spaces, thinking critically. There's still a lot of followers and idiots within those communities as well.
And that's the thing. You put something out for our people to cling on to, and they will hop down that rabbit hole quicker than a fox chasing a hare.
Yeah, gotta be.
And you know why? Because those rabbit holes. We talked about this, I think, on episode 2. But the rabbit holes are comfortable.
Yep, most definitely.
It's simple. I was talking about this at the barbershop because this one of these barbers. He loves interracial sexual access.
No.
We were talking about like our state in America and stuff like that, and I said that I asked him. I said, "Yo, when the Germans, the British, when they had a problem with the Romans, what did they do?" I'm like, the answer is simple. When you start babbling and be talking about, man, I was the supreme chief of Zamunda and all that stupid crap these people be talking about, it's because you know that you don't want to do that next step that the Anglo-Saxons did to the Romans.
Right.
What Zulu did to all those other tribes that was on code around there.
You know what, man?
Musa did when he was spreading the Mali Empire. Or what Sonny Ali did when he pushed the Mali Empire. He took it over and turned it into Songhai. That might not. So when like Jason Black always says, if you want power, you gotta take it. And it's true. That's a universal law. No one's ever gonna give you power. You don't hear talking about if you change your status, then the United States gonna respect you. Like, no, nigga, they don't respect you, and they got guns. You can call yourself whatever you want to call yourself,
right?
And they still gonna wreck you because there's no consequence.
That's it.
One reason I don't like talking much, like especially in those spaces and stuff, I really don't like saying anything at all. And I think Keith and I went to that event last week. We actually met up with the Black inventors and stuff.
Yeah, that was phenomenal.
And after that night, man, I'm just really done talking to dead people. Cause they're all dead.
That's it.
They're just walking dead. I really don't have the patience for it. I can't entertain it. It's too much going on, and too many things I'm trying to do. We're trying to drag them along, or trying to get them to get the point. I just don't have the patience for it, to be honest.
This nigga got 3 shows talking about why he don't like talking.
The
irony.
Hey, but when I talk, I have something to say though. You know what I'm saying?
That is true.
With 3 seconds saying that, like why he dropped the album, he's like, I got nothing to say right now. Like, you just want me to throw out anything? You want me to
that they have something to say too.
Yeah, well, but he could be. But I think he probably like us, or like me. He's just tired of talking to dead people. He won't want to be around it. I don't even want to be entertained by it.
I'm on that tip too, man.
Hey, Erica says they like to tongue wrestle. I heard that's popular in Atlanta.
Said the guy living in Cali. Really? Said the guy living in Cali.
We know about Hollywood, man.
Right.
Don't play that. Don't play that.
Well, Jay was probably Bohemian Girl this last year. Oh man.
No, I wasn't. I'm too radical to be a Bohemian Grove. I'd be in there talking shit.
Oh man,
I'd be trying to make Bohemian Grove modern. I'd be trying to redesign the owl and shit.
Like, that's all like a Cali thing to do, don't it? They better redesign it.
He's like, have you ever seen an OVO owl? If we can make it look more like that.
Yeah.
Gotta have a minimalistic owl.
Let me give you a ram shot. No homo. hey, but that's on a side note. That's black people get themselves caught up doing that because they'll get invited to the Bohemian Grove and think they accepted. Like, nigga, you the sacrifice tonight.
Yo, I finally got a seat at the table.
Right, you got a seat on the table with an apple in your mouth.
This your last night, nigga. It's like that black dude that went into the woods in Indiana with like 4 white people and they were trying to hang him. I'm like, you, come on, man. Like, where's your I'm like, man, this dude his dad must be Nigerian or something. Cause like, someone that's from here. I'm like, you should know white people good enough to know that.
No. Speaking of that,
to the woods.
Man, I gotta tell you what your boy Jay did, bro.
Wow.
Jay sent me like an invoice. I was like, yo, man, we need to send the money to. This dude give me a Nigerian address.
No, the African prince was gonna get
Jay trying to scam me, bro.
This is my cousin in Nigeria.
Yeah,
he has a kingdom.
Dude, I'm saying, I'm talking to him in between meetings and everything. Like, okay, yeah, sure. I go ahead and knock it out. And I look at my phone and I see this Nigerian address.
You're like, Lagos? What?
I paid that nigga a stolen credit card.
Well, at least let it be a visa. At least let it be from the U.S.
You gotta take all my Sky Miles, bro.
I'm not a old white lady. I told her PayPal account has been hacked, and I got her, and I paid you.
As long as you got the money.
Notice I'm actually Nigerian. I fooled y'all.
Oh man, you know people are gonna run with that. They're gonna take that clip.
It's gonna be a whole video about tomorrow.
But here's the thing.
No, here you go. Tomorrow, I told y'all, I'm just here to make you think.
Well, hold on. I'm not stupid, nigga. I know I come from Africa. I be seeing African niggas. I be like, damn, we look exactly the same. Like, I know where I come from. Like, nigga, I'm African. Nigga,
hey, man, I'm just here to make you think, bro.
I don't want to be in that loop.
Yeah, definitely not.
But like I said, they let you know that's also within our community, man. You had Tyreek versus Dane Calloway. Yesterday I just saw Vicky Diller versus fan of Vicky Diller Page. Like,
hold on, Vicky Diller Page.
Yeah, you know Vicky Diller, and then she had her fan page.
Yeah, she fought against her fan page.
Yeah.
Yo, that's
they just had a whole 3-hour space yesterday about it, and her feeling was hurt because Vicky hit her with the cease and desist.
Man, that's like when that movie. That's like that movie when Will Smith fights the younger Will Smith. It's just like, yo, what is going on? Vicky Diller fighting Vicky Diller Page.
For Nolan movie,
bro.
Exactly.
She said Vicky Diller got a new photo shoot and then told her not to post no more.
What?
That's what you get for fanning. Nobody asked you to make no damn fan page. I'll let y'all know. Don't make no fan page about me. Just go on the site and donate, nigga.
Nobody likes
That's
you.
it.
Don't like Jay. They don't like Jay.
Just got my hat on. That you bought. I gave you free shipping though.
Yeah, man.
Right. So, parting thoughts, gentlemen.
Man, where do I start?
Don't entertain dead people would be my parting thought, man, because it's a lot going. Something's happening right now. Something's shifting. It's really big shifting right now, and we gotta be on our P's and Q's. And it's crazy out here. And I say the best way to avoid it is step out the way. Let the dead deal with the dead.
Right. Well, my parting thoughts would be listen more than you speak. And if you come across somebody that comes to you and is talking, they're more than likely trying to sell you something. So you got to be careful. You got to be mindful, because at the end of the day, the cause is the cause, and it's not going to shift whether we're getting reparations from the Ottoman Empire or what other Twitter spaces are coming about today or tomorrow. So be mindful of that.
Erica typing with clearly typing with acrylics on. Hey, Gemini Man. Well, I don't know who's Gemini Man.
That's the name of that movie with Will Smith who fighting the other Will Smith.
That's what that was.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
I didn't see it, but yeah, I heard it was straight.
Yeah. Man, the CGI was funny.
Erica, you ain't got to get acrylics this long, okay? My part of thoughts are, man, just understand what critical thinking is. Understand, hone your ability to be able to not only ingest information, but to be able to analyze information and be able to determine what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, and what part of that information helps you move forward with your agenda. Don't get caught up in unproductive conversation. If a conversation is not helping you in your agenda, then the conversation is worthless. And if you don't have an agenda, you need to figure out what the hell your agenda is before you do anything.
That's it.
There's a lot of people that don't have agendas, but they want to talk all day. Mm-hmm. And that's why they can talk all day, because they don't have an agenda.
Not even for their life.
To accomplish. They are a village idiot. They're standing on the digital soapbox and they're running their mouth and summoning all the other village idiots. And so don't get caught up in that. We don't have a lot of time. And then some other things. We're going into a recession, y'all. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. And if you're sitting around being unproductive, you're gonna lose. The government is picking winners and losers right now. You have the opportunity to come out the other side a winner.
Yep.
Sitting around smoking blunts and talking about like once again getting reparations from the Ottoman Empire,
right,
in the United States because of a treaty from Morocco or some stupid like that.
Sitting in a sauna on broadcasting.
Yeah, I was listening to the Beyonce song, and you can.
Oh, come on, man!
She said Ottoman Empire. She's part of sacrifice. If you sitting around talking about stuff like that, and you talking about who shouldn't get reparations, and you sitting around talking about what Africans should be doing all day, and you ain't handling your business. If you work at Burger King, I don't hear nothing about what Africans should be doing. Nigga, you should be trying to get a cert or something, or be trying to get a degree or improve your situation, man. Like we said before, you can't reciprocate with zero. No one wants to reciprocate thoughts and feelings and hopes and prayers and dreams. Step your damn game up. If you don't know anything, shut your mouth. If you don't know, but the problem is some of y'all don't know that you don't know anything, and then you get 2,000 people listening to you, and then you feeling yourself.
The Dunning-Kruger effect.
Yes, exactly. So at the end of the day, if you are a progressive, forward-thinking person, and by progressive I don't mean political, I mean progressive as you're always moving forward. If you're always moving forward in life, then we want to rock with you. We want to build with you. We want you to listen. If you're not progressive, we want you to listen too. But just listen. Just listen. Stop talking so much. And with that, I'm going to play some jazz, y'all. It was a pleasure.